Hey everyone, welcome to a brand new episode of DC Collectors. Today we're taking a look at the DC Collectibles DC Essentials Deathstroke figure. Now, this figure is number 2 in this particular line, as you can see by the number on the box there. We'll look at that. These are, so far, have been fantastic figures, the ones that I have opened. I don't own every single one of these, but I do own most of them, and I've been impressed with every single one. Now, do they stack up with McFarlane Toys releases? Sadly, no. And if you go back and look at the Nightwing DC Essentials figure that I reviewed in the past, yeah, you can see why. But this is Deathstroke. There is no version of McFarlane. McFarlane doesn't have a Deathstroke figure at this time, so we're going to look at this guy. Look at the side of the box, gives you a cool look at the actual figure. Back of the box features the rest of the figures in this particular wave, which include Batman, the Flash, and Reverse Flash. And no, I do not have Reverse Flash. I missed out on him, but I do have the Batman and the Flash. And I really wish I'd have kept, I would have purchased the Reverse Flash. He is very hard to find right now. This particular figure is sculpted by Paul Harding, and he has done a very good job with these, and they are designed by artist Jason Fabok. There is the info there for the box. So now let's break this guy down and open him. Okay, so here is Deathstroke out of the package, and as you can see, he is a very, very cool looking action figure. He does come with a sword that you can put inside the sheath there, and he does come with a gun that you can put in the holster. I must say, right off the bat, this is one of the most impressive DC Essentials figures that has been released so far. He goes beyond just the basic body buck, and he does have, you know, a few cool extras that some of the others don't, like just the addition of the gun and the sword itself is a nice touch, because if you look at Nightwing, he comes with these little bitty tiny Eskrima sticks that are more like toothpicks than anything. And Green Lantern doesn't come with a lantern. Sinestro doesn't come with a lantern. Catwoman didn't come with a whip. So they really sort of stopped putting accessories in with these. And for the price point, you need to get way more than what you're getting. Let's take a closer look at the figure. You can see the head is just awesome. You know, DC Collectibles really does a decent job with the paint apps. So I can't complain about those. They look pretty much spot on. My one complaint, this is not textured. That's just a paint app. Unfortunately, you know, this would look so much better if this was sort of a textured piece. Looks kind of like a sticker if you're looking at the arm, because the way the white butts up to it. So not really impressed at all by that. These are and the DC Essentials line is basically the standard body buck with a few changes here and there, so they can pump out quite a few of these guys. One bad thing is the knife on his ankle does not come out. It is just one solid piece here, I believe. Let me see. Yep, that's just one solid piece around his ankle, which is not all that nice. His gun does come out of the holster because it is separate in the package. Let me pull that out for you. You can see that's a nice gun. At least it's it's a decent gun. We'll put that back in the holster. The sword, we'll pull that out. The sword is fairly nice as well. The one thing I don't like about this sword, maybe, you know, in the paint app, maybe do, I don't know, instead of just two tones here, you have the silver blade, the gold hand, everything else is gold for the handle. Maybe do something a little different. Maybe, you know, space it up a little bit, put some different paint apps, you know, around some of the pieces here. I don't know. And look at that. You can see I'm trying to get it where it doesn't smudge. Look at the tip of the sword. That's crazy. It just tips up like that. It's like I'm trying to pick my teeth or something with this. That's crazy. I don't know if I can bend that back. Actually, if I did that, it's starting to peel off some of the paint. So we are not going to do that. As with all these figures, they all feature the same articulation, pretty much. One cool little thing before we get into the articulation is I do like these things coming out of the back of his head. I don't know what you call them, but they're pretty cool. His head will turn all the way around, as you can see there. He does have a little bit of movement in his head up and down. He does have decent mobility at the shoulder. He has bicep swivel as well, and he has, as you can tell, double jointed elbows, which are really cool. He does have, you know, wrists that can go in and or back and forth and turn all the way around. He has this ab crunch feature here, which doesn't make him go, yeah, okay, there we go. We're getting a little bit more bend out of it, so that's cool. He turns at the waist all the way around as well. He can do a split here. What I'm scared of is when we start playing with this. So, you know, he has thigh swivel, he has double jointed knees, he has calf swivel here, and the ankles, you know, his feet can go all the way around and up and back and forth and all that kind of good stuff. My concern are these legs straight out of the package are really loose. I mean, scary loose. Like, I'm scared to bend them too much because I don't want the figure to just fall over. I'm just really worried about the longevity of this figure, like how long he can last if I keep moving his legs. It's an action figure. He's supposed to be played with, but I can't really play with him, which is sort of not cool. It kind of defeats the purpose of having him. Here is what he looks like with a sword in his hand. And, you know, not so intimidating with the sword in his hand. Looks cooler. And let's take it out. Let's just take the sword out of his hand. Put it back in the sheath. Like so there. The scabbard, whatever you want to call it. As you can see there, measures about 7 1/4 inches tall. Here is Sinestro standing right beside him. And if you look really close, you can see that all the same parts are pretty much used throughout these figures, this whole DC Essentials line. The only difference being, you know, they sculpted this little thing right here to hold the sword. Belt pouches were sculpted on with the gun holster. These little bands right here around his leg, and that are, you know, those were sculpted. And this piece, the forearm might be a little different because of this wristwatch looking piece right there on his wrist, but other than that, it's the same. And on the other side, we will bring in Catwoman, even though she's not technically a total villain, but close enough. And you can see that they look all three look, I mean, the figures from afar look absolutely amazing. If I were you, I'd definitely go out and buy them. My problem is the price point. You know, you're paying $24 to $26.99 a figure, which is outrageous, especially if you compare them to McFarlane Toys, who give you nicer figures, better paint, more articulation, more accessories. I knew Catwoman was going to do that. Catwoman. You really need stands for these figures. But with McFarlane Toys, you get so much more. She's just going to stay down than you do with these figures. But paint apps look great. I like the same body book. It gives me that DC Universe Classics kind of feel. Them using the same body book. I just wish the execution was a little bit better. Alrighty, that's it. Thanks for checking out this video. Check out DCCollectors.com each and every day for the latest DC Comics, toy, and action figure news. And you can find me on all the social media sites at DC Collectors.